The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, a major change taking place in the education system. This September, 10th graders will be introduced to a new national program. The Director of Education telling ZNS News that this program has been in the making for some time, but now is the time to introduce the initiative and raise the standard of education from where it is to where it ought to be. Megan Shepard has this story. This story, and still on the education beat, the Bahamas will host the 19th Conference of Commonwealth Education Ministers in June of next year. Over 54 ministers of education from throughout the Commonwealth are expected to attend. Now, this is the first time that the Bahamas will be hosting the meeting, and the third time it is being hosted by a country representing the Caribbean. The focus of the 5-day event will be quality, equity, access, and paths in education for their citizens. More than 1,000 foreign delegates are expected to attend the parley at the Atlantis Resort. The government plans to make available up to $2 million to host the event. Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Jerome Fitzgerald, will serve as the organizational chairman. And now back to our top story. As we told you earlier, a major change is taking place in the education system. This September, 10th graders will be introduced to a new national program. The Director of Education telling us that the program has been in the making for some time, but now is the time to introduce the initiative and raise the standard of education from where it is to where it ought to be. Megan Shepard reports.
Director of Education in the Ministry of Education, Lionel Sands, on ground Bahama for a series of meetings with teachers, parents, and students. On Wednesday afternoon, the director met with 9th grade students in both public and some private schools to introduce the new National Diploma program. Sands says those going into the 10th grade this September will be the first group to pursue the diploma.
It ensures that when students graduate high school, they would have been through a standardized program that's consistent with its standard throughout all of the schools rather than just one or two particular schools. In addition to that, it ensures that those students whose transcripts meet the minimum requirement, those transcripts would have the kind of currency that it needs to present to the college, whether it's this college here in the Bahamas or colleges abroad, for them to matriculate into those colleges. And also the transcript is also necessary for those students who will probably be going directly into the workplace.
He says courses in the program are designed to give students a smooth transition from high school to the workforce, to apprenticeship, or to college. He says students are required to take core courses, but are allowed to choose individualized courses based on their intended career path.
We have what we call core courses that every student must pursue. And then you have the electives, if you want to call it that. We call them pathway. And those pathway courses are courses that are designed specifically for the interests of the student. So if the student wants to pursue a course in whatever that is, and in this case we had a number of persons who want to do welding. Okay, they will do the welding, but it doesn't mean that they won't do the English and the math that's consistent with the welding. You see what I'm saying? And so they will be doing the math, that is applied math, applied science, applied English, and so they'll be doing those kinds of courses that will help them to be able to be successful in the welding. That's different from a student who want to pursue, let's say, medicine.
While BJCs and BGCSEs determine the country's national average, Sands says the National Diploma program will determine the number of students that successfully complete high school.
Right now, the percentage of students who complete high school in the country is about 50%. With the National High School Diploma, we are seeking to have that raised from 50% to about 85% over the next 13 to 15 years. It's a gradual process, but we're seeking to get there. And how do we get there? By ensuring that every program that we have in our schools. Those students who are falling through the crack, their intervention programs to make sure that we stop them from falling through the crack, so that they could catch up on the work that they're missing and the work that they're failing, and have them succeed in those work.
Sands says so far the idea has been keenly received, but some are curious as to whether or not BJCs and BGCSEs will still be a part of the curriculum.
The BJCs will remain, because remember now, the BJC students will be required to have at least 4 BJCs to begin the process of high school diploma program. Okay, a minimum of 4, not necessarily only 4. And with the BGCSEs will continue for those students, particularly who seek to go to the colleges, whether it's here or abroad. And so the transcript of the students from the National High School Diploma and the results of the BGCSEs would make it even easier for students to matriculate in the college.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In other news, Vacation Express and Bahamas Air are partnering with the Ministry of Tourism and the Grand Bahama Island tourism sector to introduce weekly 737-400 nonstop jet service from 8 U.S. cities. The summer flights will commence tomorrow, May 1st, and it will help fuel the economic engine of Grand Bahama, welcoming the return of major gateways in the New York tri-state and Washington, D.C. areas, with flights from New York, New Jersey, Baltimore, Maryland, and Richmond, Virginia. Other gateways will include Birmingham, Alabama, Cincinnati, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, and Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. Grand Bahama is re-entering these markets with additional air-inclusive package options featuring the recently opened 4-star all-inclusive Memories Grand Bahama Beach Resort. Total incremental seats to the destination from the U.S. via the Vacation Express and Bahamas Air program is expected to be around 66,000 and combined with 34,000 from Canada for over 100,000 seats. Now, this could translate to a projected increase of 71,000 passengers. Tourism officials estimate that the earnings from this new traffic could amount to some $57 million. Also in news, police in East Grand Bahama teaming up with Urban Renewal and some concerned citizens for a walkabout in the Chesapeake community. Located in eastern Lucaya, Chesapeake has experienced a low rate of crime, and stakeholders hope to keep it that way. ASP Loretta Mackey and Superintendent Henry Roll of the Urban Renewal Program are playing an active role in this community initiative.
We feel that this initiative this evening is a proactive approach with trying to form the Crime Watch Group. Now, our walkabout is a trifold approach here this afternoon. We are here to distribute flyers with regards to home safety tips. We're here to sensitize the residents about the upcoming meeting next week on the 8th of May. And also, we are here to find out if there are any concerns that they may have that needs to be addressed immediately.
We often hear the critics discuss about we react when situations happen, but in light of recent events throughout the Bahamas, we want to be a little bit more proactive. And one of the things we want to do leading up to these incidents happening is to help sensitize members of the public, and help drive away the fear of crime.
Now, pastor of a church in that area, Eddie Victor, is working hand in hand with the police. He says they want to give support with the formation of watch groups. These groups, he believes, will help to build safe communities.
Our objective here from Living Water Assembly is to begin the process to formulate crime watch groups, to begin to watch out for the communities such as Chesapeake, Lincoln Park, Lincoln Green, and all these surrounding communities that surround our church. And we want to work in partnership, of course, with the police, but also with the community, because more importantly, it's going to be the community individuals and people in the community that are going to be a part of these crime watches.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. After making numerous appeals to the public for help, the Grand Bahama Home for the Aged is getting some much-needed assistance. A local energy development and engineering firm has committed to help the home to lower its electricity bill. Sabrina Brown has this story.
Northern Bahamas Utilities is preparing to conduct an energy audit at the Grand Bahama Home for the Aged, free of charge. President and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Carlton Bosfield.
I know they are presently undergoing some renovations to some parts of the facilities because of damages. But once that's completed, we will send in a team of engineers and technicians who would come in and they would evaluate the whole energy infrastructure of the building. And based on their data collection, and we'll also use monitoring technology, we'll be able to give them a list of recommendations on what they can do to ultimately become more energy efficient and lower their electricity bills.
Bosfield says this effort is a part of his company's social responsibility. He says once the process gets underway, it is expected to take 1 to 2 weeks to be completed.
What we will do for the home from the energy audit standpoint is an intervention that we can do in Grand Bahama. It does not have to conflict with anything that's done by Grand Bahama Power Company. And these are folks that I know personally, and I think that we can work together with them to help not-for-profit organizations such as the Home for the Aged.
This veteran engineer, who also made a cash donation to the home, is encouraging other corporate citizens to assist in any way possible. Administrator at the Grand Bahama Home for the Aged, Agatha Thompson, says the monthly power bill at the home is around $2,000, and she's grateful that Northern Bahamas Utilities has come forward to help.
We are appealing to the community for assistance, and through the press release, Mr. Bosfield learned about our plight and he came to our assistance, and we are so grateful for the kind donation and the assistance to assist us with trying to regulate and reduce our power bill. So that is always a welcome request, so we really thank them.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
The redevelopment of the only public library on Grand Bahama is still a work in progress, and now that library is getting a much-needed boost to one of its latest initiatives, thanks to an organization at the forefront of a national movement. Joan Davis-Roll explains.
A group of local activists taking time out from promoting their cause to ensure the advancement of another. Officials from Save the Bays donating some $7,000 to the Sir Charles Hayward Library. During a press conference held at the library, Director Geneva Rutherford says the donation to the public lending facility is significant.
This is literally going to be a skill building. We're looking at traditional as well as authentic Bahamian skills that we can pass on to our children. We will have for the older students a boat building exercise for 2 weeks, and only 10 persons are able to participate in that because of the nature of it. But those students will be taken into the forest to be shown where the types of wood is cut from.
This premier summer camp begins June 30th and will last for some 5 weeks. It will cater to students ages 5 to 16. The former educator and Grand Bahama Port Authority executive says these funds will go a long way in ensuring the success of the library's unique summer program.
The library is determined that young people in our country will know certain things, and who knows, maybe the love of the craft will be engendered in some child who will later on want to become a boat builder. It's a way of life. We are also going to be having, and thanks to BAIC, because we have some additional sponsors who will be sponsoring 3 weeks of craft skills. We will start with straw craft, and those children too will be taken into the areas around the library.
For activists Fred Smith and Joseph Davil, presenting the check was more than just a donation, but an investment in this island's youth. They say the most exciting part is the highly anticipated merger between music, poetry, and the environment.
Indeed, it is a program that's going to provide an opportunity for these youngsters to be exposed to such a variety of what goes on in the community. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity to provide them with Ms. Gardner during the summer and Mrs. Rutherford. And I'm glad that Save the Bays and myself have been given this opportunity.
We got the greatest musician and the most socially conscious one as part of our directorship in Save the Bays, in the person of Kirkland Bodie. And I said, I'm going to drag him in here, and he will run a couple workshops on sort of melding music and poetry together. and the environment.
While these funds come as welcome news, the director of the library, Mrs. Rutherford, says that more help is needed, and she's calling on corporate Grand Bahama to step up to the plate. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis-Roll.
A student on the island of Bimini is the recipient of a prestigious award. The 11th grade student competed in a speech contest among her peers and came out on top. Now she has national acclaim. Megan Shepard introduces us to the Junior Minister of Tourism.
Sajay Lockhart says she and a group of students were selected by her guidance counselor to participate in the semifinals for the Junior Tourism Minister competition. 2 schools were in competition, and Lockhart explains how she beat out the other students to travel to New Providence.
I competed against 4 other students for the competition, and then I won the competition and advanced to the finals in Nassau. We had an interview at first, and then we had a speech competition. The interview consisted of 40% of our final score, and the speech was 60%.
Once in New Providence, Lockhart says it was a pretty tense experience going up against students from the various islands. Their topic, the impact of culture and tourism.
Behold, the islands of the Bahamas. Are you ready for some island hopping? Do you want to experience the real Bahamas, or do you just need a Bahama venture? Rest assured, we are only a few hours away from being able to say, thank God it's Bahama Friday. I spoke about how Sir Stafford Sands changed the tourism laws in order to sell the culture of the Bahamas to others to want other tourists to come and visit the Bahamas.
She says although Bimini is a small island, she was determined to take the title as a badge of honor for her community.
I wanted to win because I wanted to make my island proud. I wanted to show off the island of Bimini, and I wanted to know that Bimini is just not a small island, but an island that could produce for the Bahamas.
Moving forward, Lockhart says she hopes a speech or debate system will be implemented in the high schools on Bimini to help other students build their confidence in public speaking.
It was a learning experience. I learned how to speak in public crowds, how to think right on the spot, because we had a mystery question.
Lockhart says she plans to study medicine after graduating high school. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
A special conference opens tonight on Grand Bahama as over 100 delegates from throughout the country are expected to convene on this northern island. Under the theme, Changing Life Through Service, the Anglican Churchmen will commence the 41st Annual ACM Conference at St. Stephen's Anglican Church in 8 Mile Walk, where Father Rudolph Cooper is director. Delivering the sermon during opening night at St. Stephen's Anglican Church is Archdeacon Harry Bain from Christ the King Anglican Church, Freeport. Come tomorrow, the Anglican Churchmen will head west for a day of sessions at St. Mary's Magdalene Anglican Church in West End beginning at 9 a.m. The ACM conference will come to a close on Sunday at the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King at 10 a.m. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we return.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Snackville, located number 2 Millennium Mall. Sweets, treats, snacks, and more. Snackville has your favorite snack for that snack attack.
Hi, I'm Toran. I'm a proud Bahamian. This May 24th and 25th, we're going to welcome the world to our home. The Bahamas World Relays are going to bring the best athletes from around the world. But guess what? We have the best. So come on and wave your flags, wear your colors, as we tear it up for gold.
KFC is so good. KFC is so good. Same great taste.
A 6-piece family feast is the only excuse your friends will accept you being late for the game. KFC is doing it again. 6 pieces of thigh and leg chicken, original and spicy, with 2 delicious sides, mashed potatoes and coleslaw. Just $11.95. Only at KFC Freeport.
It's been 8 years and the battle continues.
And the first question is for LIS.
The question now goes to EMR.
8 Mile Rock High School.
East versus West. 10 schools will meet to do battle in the Battle of the Brains.
Everybody, and welcome to Sports and Mercado Live. And well, Grand Bahama will host the Caribbean Regional Baseball Tournament for the 11-12-year-olds in July, folks. Let me tell you that it is going to be a wonderful tournament, and the GB Baseball Stadium is being repaired for just the occasion. The Grand Bahama Baseball Stadium is undergoing major repairs, which will be a competitive summer of play. Now, fencing is being put up and a fresh new appearance. The grounds have been prepared for the cement and some new bleachers. Bahamas Baseball Federation Nationals will be played on it in June, July 18th to the 27th, the Caribbean Little League Baseball Tournament as well. Regional Director of Little League Baseball, Eddie Claude, is elated with the progress that's being made at the ballpark and the local committee for the regional tournament.
Plans are going well. I'm quite pleased with what's been going on. Donna and our team, Wendy, Carmel, Zakiri, Phil Carey, Steve, Lexus, they all been doing a very good job of organizing the tournament. We have sent out our letters for donations and stuff like that, and most of the logistical work has been done. We're still deciding on a few things, a few issues, but I think they'll all be decided upon and confirmed by the end of this week.
Once the work is completed at the Grand Bahama Baseball Stadium, coaches, players, and fans will be elated. The 11-12 regional tournament is an added dimension.
We have 10 countries, with the host country, the Bahamas, having to put in 2 teams if they wish. Those countries, Aruba, Borneo, U.S. Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands, Curacao, Puerto Rico, San Martin, Cayman Islands. It's going to be I think it's going to be a very interesting tournament.
Circle it on your calendar, July 18th to the 27th, the Caribbean Regional is coming to Grand Bahama. Well, high school Arthur Paris Mary Knapp Soccer League returned to play on Tuesday with the Lucan International Junior Girls defeating Tabernacle 2-0. Sunland Senior Girls defeating the MES Warriors 3-0. Tabernacle with a 1-0 win over the Jack Haywood Wildcats. And also in FARS, the Grand Bahama Flag Football League from the weekend, week 4 of play. GB Sports Complex, Sands Bears over the Brad Cruiser 20-6. The Bahama Rock Excavators can the Borco Oilers 20-14. Office Destroyers 12 and the Container Port Stacker 6. As far as the rest of the scores, let me tell you that the Westminster Runners, they clipped the ISS Marines 14-12. Free Con Alliance closed out the Shipyard Records 12-0. In the ladies' affair, the MLM Eagles, they shut out the High Rocks Stingers 18-0. And Sheena team, the Galaxy Shockers, got spanked by the Lady Marines 14-0 as well. Also, we can tell you that the Elite Tennis Tournament started as well. They are playing at the Charles Hayward Yacht Club, and Julio Valdez defeated Dr. Mari 6-love. Ashwood Hall served by Brad Fox 7-5. Justin Thompson defeated Tori Bartlett 6-4. Ryan Wong over Adrian Gergoff 6-2, and Justin Thompson eliminated Quasi Thompson 6-4. Adrian also rebounded to defeat Missan as well 6-4. Ashwood Hall also putting it to league at 6-1, and also Stephen had a good one going as well. And Rayon Higgs over Dr. Mari 6-4. Those guys are playing every night. They should be having an awful lot of fun. Sheena, the Galaxy team can't beat nobody. Gotta go.